Okay, I guess there were some corrections to board minutes.
Yeah, I've got them in front of me now.
Did everybody get a chance to look at those corrections, et cetera? Motion to accept.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Public presentations, is there anybody who would like to get up and give a comment on the town? Good, everything's going good. Reports of the standing committee chair people, persons. Zoning, planning committee, Councilman Messer.
That's, we're just talking about the action, the local law, Dr. Receipt. Make a motion to accept that.
That's the amendments to the zoning ordinance. We now have county planning's recommendation that we approve.
Which we had, a second by Rich, which we had a public hearing on at the last board meeting. All
So
right,
it was moved by,
Jim, second by Rich. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next is codes have their some annual training. Joe Booth and two of the other officers like to attend at $25 each, so total's $75. That'll take care of about a quarter of their required training for the year, so I'd like to make a motion to send them to training.
Motion by
Second.
Jim, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, senior citizens, Dave Reynolds, Councilman.
Yes, we have a total of $696 in donations. They are listed in your packet there. We need to increase A6772.4 and A2705.1 for $696. I make that in front of the motion.
Second.
Second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Anything else, Dave?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, moving on to Public Works Sewer Committee, Councilman Messick.
Yep, we have the Ray Hill Trail bid. We had two bids at the opening. One from D.H. Smith Company out of Playville, and then the second was Jablonski Excavating out of St. Johnsville, New York. D.H. Smith came in at the lowest bid. I'd like to, the motion to accept D.H. Smith. They came in at
Okay, and that was how much?
$701,831.33.
And they've done work for us before, and they've had good results with it, et cetera.
That's great.
Yep. Second to that motion?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Rich? Rick?
That, also the state had to, we got a letter from them at 4:15 this afternoon, and they looked at the bid packages. There's a copy if you want one. They concur with our bid, that it's good. And they have to give us that okay also. Here's a copy of that letter if you'd like. Okay?
That's for the DH Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, they approved the bid package, right?
What else you got, Jim?
I'd probably make a motion to return the bid deposit back.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
We got equipment, capital projects, back in it now or after?
Well, why don't you do the other 3 and 4, and then we'll go back to it.
Okay. I'll do the 2015 roadside mowing agreement. Council have a chance to review that in the county.
It's a standard one we've used in the past.
I'd like to make a motion to accept that mowing agreement.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we recently had a situation on Oneida Street with emergency sewer repair. Rick, we got a minute to come up and just address the board on the timeline of events and
Have a copy.
how that unfolded.
I gave everybody a copy of the memo I put together tonight, so it explains pretty much, but just real quick. It was brought to my attention on March 2nd by Brian Winfrey, stopped by my office to show me some pictures. Showed me that the pipe had been TV'd and there was clear water in it, no sewage, and there was a lot of gravel in the pipe. So that pretty much was putting me on notice that I had a problem. I went over there, I called Pat, advised Pat that I had an emergency with a sewer line. Turns out to be it's a 16-inch main coming off, it takes all the sewage off of Benton Hills, Higby Road area, brings it down, crosses Oneida Street, down the embankment, crosses the creek, and it hooks into the Oneida County interceptor between Route 8 and the creek on that right away there. 16-inch, we broke the ice away from the creek. The pipe isn't very deep. We saw there was a good size hole, like the size of a bowling ball in the 16-inch pipe, and obviously there was sewage around that area. I called Hannah Construction. After talking to Pat, he was on site within 2 hours. He cleared our right-of-way. We have our sewer right-of-way down that embankment. He cleared the right-of-way. He built a roadway down in there. And our first plan of attack was to get this thing on bypass immediately. We got our sewer truck down in there. We cleaned out the sewage in that catch basin, and set up a pump, set up a bridge across the creek to the catch basin on the other side. Got the bypass in operation. DEC was notified. Obviously, they had to be notified. They've been watching my progress. Once the bypass was in place, we put the creek on the other side, moved it over. We were able to get 2/3 of the pipe in, get it embedded in concrete with rebar. And then we moved the creek back over on the good side, and then we went over to the 1/3 that was left. Yesterday morning, he was able to move the creek, start that construction. He finished it this afternoon. The pipe is in, the concrete's around it. And as we're working lately, the water's coming up because of the stone melt. He's afraid that tomorrow he's not gonna be able to work in there because of rising water. But we're secured where we are for a day or two until this temperature goes back down. Once he gets that pipe hooked, we'll take the bypass down, and we've got to put some scouring rock in there to protect what we just did, per DEC plans. They call it veins that we have to put in there with large rock. He's not gonna leave until that's done, and he's not gonna leave until it's finished, and then he'll take all that road back out of there as we leave.
Is DEC happy with our response?
They're within 2 hours, yes.
So we're not on the hook for anything
We're
from
not,
DEC?
no.
What prompted them to TV it?
They TV'd it 2 years ago, and the pipe was
So-
excellent condition.
So this was a routine?
It was a routine because that's the area they've been working in,
Okay.
and that's what they found. Come spring, I have 8 more of these locations that the sewer line crosses the creek, and I'm gonna have them TV'd and make sure that
Yeah.
we're good on these other locations as well.
Good job on all that.
Sounds like you did an
Thank you.
excellent job.
Yeah.
I did.
You really did.
All right.
One more before we go to the other thing. In the past board meetings, we approved Rick to hire a mechanic to replace the one that had left. So I have a name of Lynn Brodock. I'd like to make a motion to put Lynn on board for $22.96 per hour.
Second.
Is that what the other guy was getting?
Yeah, that's the starting wage, that's what he was getting. That's pending your approval and also the non-county approval.
Need a second?
We got a second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay. Now back to the equipment and Friday, so. Looking to get two 2016 Mack snow plows to replace truck number 65, it's a 1993, and a truck number 68, 96, and also truck number 3, so we're getting 2 to replace 3. So they're think
What was that again?
there's three plows that we're getting rid of to get two new ones,
Okay, I thought you had said it in
so. And then the other equipment is a John Deere tractor, a side mower. The one we have now is 1993, just can't get parts for it anymore. It's just, it's done, so.
Well, it's not operable.
So,
The two trucks, I had a meeting with Rick, Danny was there. We're waiting to get some numbers to see where we're going, because we don't have extra money in the budget to come up with these. So Rick was gonna get me some money, numbers, get them to Dan.
I got some.
Have you looked at them?
I just got them today.
So,
Yeah. Did you have time to go over that at all?
no, he just got them. So we'll take a look at it next board meeting. Danny will come up with whatever he's got.
well,
The mower, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the mower is important because obviously the next agreement, one of the other, what we already approved, the mowing agreement, but you need to get that order so we have it in time for June. That's the only hiccup there.
Yeah, what we would have to do there, board, if you were going to, we talked about it earlier in the year about bonding for some items such as the Donovan Park stuff. If we're gonna do it, we might as well do it now and throw the mower in there.
We definitely need a mower.
Yeah.
Well, we've got
Yes,
contract
we
to
got
do
a
some
contract.
mowing.
So, but I think this will help too with the extended arm, will help with retention ponds and so forth.
I have a
Yeah.
picture here if somebody wants to see what it is. Okay.
Yeah, so-
All right, so, do you wanna talk about what we're gonna bond for? Or are you not ready for that?
What's the advantage to waiting to see what we're gonna bond for?
There is none. I just didn't know, because at budget time, I know Mike and some other guys came up with a lot of stuff, and I didn't know if you had time to take a look at that and sort it out. I thought that the board was, wanted to move on the Donovan Park, whatever you want to call it, landscaping, fencing, whatever, okay? And then we have, what else did we have, Mike?
Compressor repairs at the rec center, for 25,000.
That was for the compressor?
Yep, that's for the repairs to the crankshaft and seals. So we put it in
And
position.
you're aware of all this?
Yes, I met with Mike and the contractor and explained the options and,
So we got that compressor for about 25?
Well, after
30.
meeting with you, it would be 15 for the compressor, and because we have the crankshaft, we probably replace, we need a snow blower for our sidewalks that would interchange.
How did we get to a snowblower?
Well, we had to purchase the
Did you
crank.
just try to throw that in there and you didn't think I was awake or what?
I'm just, we had to purchase the crankshaft in advance because there was only one or two remaining because of the age of the compressor. So when we met, that may not be eligible for the bond. So I have to
Oh, because you already bought it.
supplement, something, so that my recommendation would be the snow blower and some other small pieces of equipment are
That you had
budgeted.
in the equipment budget might come out.
Yeah, so the total would still be the same, but we would be doing it
All
properly.
right, so the compressor is 15?
Yeah.
And the snow blower is how much?
Snow blower is, give me one second.
Do you have any of these figures?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Well, I gotta come up with these figures if we're gonna make a motion to go out and
Well,
bond, so.
Well, we had the sheets, we handed out last
The
time.
15 for the compressor, and then the other part of, the other items he's talking about, swapping out of his operating budget amounts to like 10,000, so that's where he gets the 25.
And that's a snow blower?
Snow blower and a couple of attachments to our infield groomer. They total 8,900.
All right. All right, so that's about 24,000. And then, and what was Donovan Park? What was the paving and the fencing and stuff?
The fencing we have in a previous capital fund, and then the paving, I think we had 25,000 set aside for the landscape work. paving landscape.
With the paving and all the rest, 25,000?
I believe that was the price.
And what was the mower, Rick? I'm sorry.
Mower is
98.6.
98,000, 672.
All right, so let's say 98,700. What else we got? And
Rick, you had those, the 3 dump bodies, weren't you, didn't we talk about
all
that?
those
Three
stainless
dump
steel,
bodies, yeah.
whatever,
And,
2, 3, what was
There
it?
was 3 dump bodies,
That was 30,000.
For all 3?
yes.
And then the
Yeah, got it right here.
roof on the salt
Got everything right there.
building,
33,000.
33,000.
That was the sheet, that was the last meeting, showed everything breakdown.
Rick, I know, I went down and looked at the equipment a while ago, these vehicles, and one of them that you've got here is the backhoe.
Thanks.
That was, as I recall, in bad shape. 2004. What are your thoughts on the backhoe?
I placed it on the sheet, but, you know, it's
You
11.
mentioned that it needed about $10,000 worth of repairs,
Yeah,
and what's the new one cost?
the new one is 85,000.
But what is the auction, international auction, what is some of the
Yep.
ones that you've researched are going for now?
They're going from 23 to 27,000 on an auction. There's one on there right now that's 2 years older, but a few hours less than ours. But I got 2 things that show me back what I could possibly get out of the used one, and that's in the ballpark.
How many guys do we have that operate that backhoe?
I've got probably 5 train, you know, that can run it. Even tonight it's out, opening up some catch basins. But I got, Bill is an operator, he operates it, and Kevin Matthew operates a backhoe, and there's a couple other guys. Like I said, it's out tonight with the second shift, opening up, catch basins.
And also too, you said you're gonna add a trailer in there too, so we don't ride around
I would like
town.
to, the trailer is 12,500. That's probably one of the reasons why. I can understand our backhoe going from job to job in a storm, but when we have our main jobs, there's no reason why it can't be trailered and save some of the wear and tear, brakes and steering and stuff like that.
So if we get, what do you think it's worth?
They're telling me in the ballpark of 24 to 27,000.
So if you get 25,000,
What are the other things that we figured too, Rick, in addition to?
Well, the truck
Trucks.
84 is a 4-wheel drive snowplow, and it's nickel and diming us.
Yeah.
Every time it goes out, it's costing us.
So what do we come up with? We kind of put a ballpark, 75,000 maybe on
Probably
auction.
everything we sell, you know, we're looking at that type of money coming back from the auction.
I just caution you on bonding for all this stuff.
I understand what you're saying, I really do. Have we gotten stung on any of these where we've auctioned them?
What do you mean by stung?
Well, we get
Well,
a
we
piece,
didn't get what we were planning on getting.
Not really, no. Everything the loaders have done well, the pickup trucks have done well. Everything I put on there. Your two older plow trucks, they're junk. The 84, if we clean it up, I expect to get a good dollar. There's low mileage on that truck, but it's a 4-wheel drive that sits, and it's nickel and diming us. That's why I want to get rid of it.
I just think a backhoe is like having a pointed shovel in a garage. I mean, it's a piece of equipment that seems to me to use every day.
If he's using a sewer, can't we use sewer money?
I don't know.
It is used.
I I mean,
And
this
then
way,
it's
not,
gonna
you know,
cost 10 grand.
if, you know what I mean?
Fix. It would be 10 grand in it.
Can we use,
I think we're sewer, Marcia.
or we can justify it?
Sewer, absolutely. I would say at least half of it's probably used on sewer and stuff.
So, it'd be not, it's a,
Well, I'd like to see it in there,
New one?
yeah.
with the, I think, for the trailer for 12.5, you know.
Well, I definitely
cost
need
of-
the trailer, because
cost
you
of
kill the
tires.
tires on that, every time you drive all the way from there to Southwoods.
$1,000 a tire, right?
Yeah, well, no, what are they, $2 each, aren't they now, those tires?
So the
Tires
tires
like
take
$8,000.
Well, not quite that much.
Well,
Your
the
smaller-
front
your
ones
front
aren't
ones are
as
smaller.
much as the back ones.
But over time,
I don't know. Personally, I would take the 10 grand and fix it. Get a couple more years use out of it. It's up to you guys. We're up to about 180,000 on bonding without that. Really not a very good bond, I'll be honest with you.
What is the rate, do we know what the rate is, or do we care at this point?
You mean the interest rate?
Yeah.
What did we get last time, Danny? 3 point something,
It would have been even less.
2.75 or 2.76 something. Yeah, the interest rate is not the thing, it's, except that the bigger the bond, the more activity you get. You know, with people bidding on it, and
Right.
you're more likely to get a better rate with a bigger bond, but, you know, that's when you're getting up into the $2 million size. Do we have anything renewing this year? Ben?
We do.
That we're gonna roll over?
I think that's what we were talking about doing.
How big is that one?
The one, the band of like 620,000.
When is that coming around?
I think sometime in the summer here.
Couldn't wait that long.
I can, you know, let me, I can check, but I don't know off the top of my head. I'm thinking summertime, June, July.
Whatever you wanna do, guys.
I went down and looked at it, and I just think it needs to be replaced, and get what you can out of it, instead of putting another 10 grand into it.
How much is that new one?
85.
So you're looking at 60.
You're out of about $250,000.
I guess
That's what I would-
that.
Is that with the trailer? That's
No.
with the trailer.
Trailer's extra.
With the trailer, I got 285,000 and all this stuff right here.
Where are you going? You got the first thing for 15,000,
What
the
first?
compressor,
Well,
Parts.
yeah, plus the other,
plus the snow blower for 89.
I used 10.
75,000.
The paving for 25 for Donovan?
That's already bonded for. That's-
Not the paving, the fencing,
Right. Correct. That's correct?
right?
Correct.
So that's 25, and then the mower of 98, well, I rounded off to 98.7. And then 30,000 for the dump bodies.
Oh, I was adding in 33,000 for that bottom one, the roof, the salt building.
Oh, all right.
That 33,000.
No, go ahead, add it in. What'd you come up with? I didn't add that in, so you may be right.
Now I got 310,000 because of the additional, I didn't have the 25 in there before.
And that's with the backhoe and the trailer?
And the trucks and the mower.
310.
What truck? No truck.
The two
Two
of the
trucks
top.
on top.
Oh, that's right, they're not gonna be bonded, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Were the trucks coming out of the just equipment budget? Or?
300, that's one truck. 310, so we're at about 310,000. Anything else? Mike, you got anything?
The only other item we cut were the park trucks. We're gonna look at next year's
The
budget.
what?
The park trucks that we cut out of the budget.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
That's
We'll
what I
take
thought you
that.
wanted to look at that next year. Yep.
Good man, chief.
I figured.
All right.
Can I get my tab?
Joe, I know you don't. What's that? All right, so we're 310,000. Motion to bond for these items. Motion by Dave, second. Second by Paul. Discussion, all in favor? Aye, unanimous. Okay. Anything else, Jim, you got?
Is that enough?
310,000 right there, between you and Dave. All right, board, you got anything before I get into my stuff and Herb gets in this?
I just had one thing to bring up. Beginning of the year, we talked about the standing committees. I met with Jim on them, I spoke with Dave and met with Rich. Jim sent out an email with the standing committees. There was a couple changes, and we actually added one to it, IT.
Remember, these are my pick,
Oh,
so there's no changes.
Oh, okay, you said to bring it back.
No, I said I'd take recommendations.
Oh, okay. Would you recommend?
Yeah. I'll take it with me. All right, that's all right. We don't mind if you overstep.
The floodplain issues where we might be acquiring some property.
Yes. I've called the gentleman from the governor's office. He hasn't gotten back to me with all those questions as to, we all know that it ends up with us. What happens to it after that, I don't know yet, because he hasn't gotten back to me.
So if someone calls the town or asks us, which they have, who do you call?
We put them on a list, so if anybody talks to any of you folks, just either take their name and address, give it to Carol, or have them call Carol.
Okay.
She's putting them on a list, and then this, the guys from New York State is supposed to come up here and sit down and take all the applications from the people.
Okay, so we don't have any paperwork, this is just a list.
He does it, right, we just get a
Okay.
list together.
Okay,
And then he
thanks.
comes up, supposedly he does all that stuff.
Yep, okay.
Anything else before we went? Okay, one item, and I forgot to bring it up at last month's board meeting. We've got the engineering agreement from Barton and Judas. I think with maybe one exception, they've been doing a good job. I think we've learned to work well with them over the last year or so. Joe, Rick, you work with them a lot, right? Things are smooth out. In the contract, it's basically the same as the prior years, with the exception that the budget has been set at 40,000. I talked with them and explained to them that a lot of these projects that they were doing in the past are going to have to be directed towards the developers, and have the developers pay them as part of the cost of coming to the town of Hartford. So they're well aware of that. They are going to immediately, before proceeding to start with something with a new developer coming in town, you know, they will check with me, with my office, and they'll start running a tab that'll be charged back to the developers. Anyway, that being said, I would like to have a motion to allow me to sign this contract for this year, 2015, with Barton and Judas.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
How much should we have budgeted?
40,000. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agreement for the library, which we passed at the last board meeting, I believe. There were just some questions. Mike came to my office as to exactly what's going to take part in this mowing, what's going to take part in the maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. I told, as a matter of fact, Jay Wynn, who's here tonight, I told him, I told Mike, told Rick that we will discuss it at tonight's board meeting so we get an understanding of exactly what we're going to do on the shared agreement. It basically outlines, Town of Hartford within Soldier Department will provide services to the library to assist in its day-to-day operations and reduce its operating expenses to include ordinary maintenance such as snow plowing and removal in the parking lot, driveway and walkways, lawn mowing, grounds maintenance, and ordinary building maintenance and upkeep of all within the sole discretion of the town. That's fine, because that gives us in our discretion. However, I think Mike Jeffries and Rick need to have some direction on this from the board as to exactly what we're going to be doing.
What was the contractor doing? I mean, wouldn't we just pick up where the contractor left off in terms of mowing and?
Some of it. Some of it's covered under another, we have a fund that was established by a patron that
Right.
pays for some of our mowing. So we're not gonna have you do that. But we're gonna ask you to pick up all the grounds maintenance, gonna ask you to pick up, any kind of, maintenance that we have. We don't have any maintenance people in the building at all. And when he said, when you speak about ordinary maintenance, that just means something breaks, have a guy come and take a look at it, see if he can fix it. If it requires a contractor to fix it, if it's something bigger, then you can handle it, and we'll deal with it ourselves. And the other thing is, we needed some help with having a cleaner come in and clean the library once in a while. Pat had mentioned that he had, there's a guy that goes around and does cleaning and the, oh,
Bernie Green does.
don't like the sound of that, huh?
Well, just to go back to the mowing, you've got some mowing that the contractor didn't do.
The contractor does all the mowing, but it's done in two parts. One part is covered by an endowment fund, the other part we pay out of our operating budget. So we're asking you to pick up our operating side.
Which is what, the front of the building facing Oxford Road, is that what we're talking about?
Well, you have to have a map to see what it is, but basically.
Well, wouldn't it make more sense to us to do the mowing?
Well, we are gonna do mowing, and I
Okay.
just assume do the whole thing, because
Right.
it's gonna be
All right,
hard
well,
for our
that-
guys
That's what I mean.
to go down and say, here, do this, do that, and not the rest of
Okay,
it.
we were simply trying to be reasonable.
Right, well, that's
Um,
certainly reasonable, but I think, I don't know how much,
I would be thrilled to death if you just mowed everything.
The flowers too? Mike, take care of those flowers.
Right on that.
Mike, do you have a problem mowing the whole thing? I mean,
I have no problem
you just want
mowing.
direction.
I would suggest maybe I could go down when the snow breaks here and take a look at his map, and if for some
Yeah,
reason
we
that
could-
something's gonna be difficult, we can bring it back to the board.
Yeah, we could take a look at it.
All right,
You know, we haven't worked out all the details.
So now we go to snow plowing.
We already have agreement where you plow the driveway and the parking lot.
Okay,
And we need to pick up all the sidewalks.
which we have not been doing?
No, that's been
who
done.
plows the sidewalk, isn't there a sidewalk in front of the
No,
library?
it stops just before,
Yeah.
it's a travesty, it stops just before the library.
Yeah, there's no sidewalk along Oxford Road, no.
Just coming outside the building and.
Yeah, it's in the front of the building, facing the parking spaces. So, that leaves us with occasional building maintenance, and that is, something breaks, something doesn't work, it'd be nice to be able to pick up the phone, call somebody and say, can you send someone over to look at it? And Pat said some of the stuff you guys can fix, some of the stuff you might not be able to, but at least it gives us a place to start.
Right,
That's what Mike does to our rest of our buildings. And if it needs a part, then we'll tell the library this is the part it needs, and they can buy the part and we'll install it. If the stuff that we can do.
We'll
it's over
provide
our
that
head,
later.
let's go to the contractor, let them know.
And the rest of the stuff, we'll figure out something. You know, as far as like a monthly vacuuming or something like that.
Yeah, I think that the first step needs to be us to come to agreement that you're gonna help us and we're gonna figure out what you can do most efficiently for us. And then we need to, once that's in place, we can sit down and talk about the little details.
Good.
Sound good to the board? Okay.
Thanks.
Jay, then Mike will go down when the weather breaks, talk to you about the lawn mowing and stuff like that.
And I can talk to, I'll talk to whoever you need to.
Who?
We need to know who the contact's gonna be, who we would call.
Well, for the maintenance, like if there's a bulb gone or something like that, it'll be Rick.
Okay,
For the mowing, it'll be Mike. And
perfect.
for anything else, I guess it's Dave.
Including cleaning.
Dave who?
Anytime, Jay. You got my number.
Okay,
Or my office, whatever.
all right, thank you.
Okay? All right. Danny, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a couple of quick things.
Oh, yeah, we do have one.
Yeah.
Very important.
But I've got two quick budget adjustments I need approval on. One's in the highway department for monies that we received on sale of 2 loaders, and then the repurchase. So we're gonna increase revenue line item DB 2665.0 by $276,000. And increase the expense line, new purchase of equipment, DB 5130.02 for the same amount, $276,000. That's one. And the other one's in police for insurance money we received on the damaged 2014 vehicle. So insurance recovery revenue increase, BP 2680.0 by $3,477, and contractual BP 3120.04 by $3,477.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That it?
There's
Want to go on to the
Just the bills, and then we gotta talk about
Right.
position.
Janice is leaving in our finance office, so that obviously puts a big deal on. Basically, what I'm looking for, Dan's looking for, is approval from the board to go out and advertise in the Utica paper and the Syracuse paper to see what kind of resumes we could get back here for. We'd like to get moving right away because she's planning on leaving in July, right?
July or August, yeah.
You know what the process is by the time you look through these things, interviewing and stuff.
Motion to go out to solicit.
It's civil service position too.
It's not gonna be an exempt position, so I guess it's gonna be civil service.
We'll talk about
Second, all in favor? Aye. I sent this to you folks, so you know this. Village is basically terminating the agreement with our codes because they have John Purdy now, who is, I guess, reached that level of zoning codes officer, or whatever. So anyway, effective May 31st, we will no longer be working under that codes agreement with the village of Hartford, just so everybody knows. It didn't amount to a lot of money, so it's not a big thing. I don't think Joe's displeased either. Okay, Counselor.
I just have two things for executive session. One dealing with the Seaman litigation and the other the Teamsters union contract.
Okay, so that being said, if I have unless there's anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, just
I'm sorry, oh, the bills. Motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Rich, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. That being said, if we could have a motion to go into executive session, unless there's anything else?
I'll make a motion.
Second by Paul, all in favor? Aye. We'll give it a few minutes for folks to leave, and then somebody can cry.
We haven't anybody else yet, though.
No, we're waiting for the school. I still have not heard from the school which direction they're gonna take.
Did you get my, what we had bounced over?
Yes, I did.
Yep.
I told him all the stuff that we talked about, talked to Bob about it, and he's gonna get back to me, but he hasn't at this point.
It's somebody that's been in this arena before and won.
The one that he had in mind, I guess, has done that and has a decent track record
Yes.
as that firm. Plus the one that.
They did
that,
Appleton.
For us, you know. So, yeah, as soon as that comes up, I will notify all of you guys. And this, did we get this approved? This wasn't approved. Was this approved in the bills tonight?
No. I didn't put it forward. We'll do it next month.
Okay. You want to hang on to it?
Now, would you give it to Carol?
Oh, we just got this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nothing further, take a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.